back, everybody. We're gonna do a little bit different of a video for this week, and we're gonna do a weekend of eating. I feel like a lot of people do like a week of eating, but Murphy's leaving next week, and so we're just gonna show what we eat on the weekend. It usually sticks to kind of the same thing. Maybe we'll order out. I don't know. I have no plans except for dinner tonight, but we're gonna start off with my typical breakfast, which is the egg white feta wrap, and this is a staple pretty much every single morning for me, so this will give you a clue into what breakfast is every day. So let's go. All right, first things first, 1 egg. And then I add some egg whites on top. It's about the same amount of egg whites as the egg, so it's like about 50 or so grams. Pepper. And some salt. And we scramble. I'm a savory breakfast person personally, and it's healthy. It gets me by until lunch and usually gets me through the gym. Okay, so we're scrambling that. The pan's heating up. Okay. Okay, while the egg is cooking, I just wanted to say that I also am using new tortillas. They are these. They're made out of vegetables, so they are a bit better for you than a regular tortilla. I've been trying these and I really like them, and this is my first day trying the paprika ones. The only thing I will say is that a regular tortilla gets a much better crisp than these. But okay, the egg's getting ready. Okay, so now that it's starting to firm up, we're gonna put some spinach. I lay it out pretty evenly so I don't have like giant bites of spinach. It's all evenly dispersed, pretty much. Okay. And then crumble some feta. And tomatoes. Okay, sorry, the first video I made was completely cut off my head, but I did try a bite. I said I usually fry each side for about like 3 to 4 minutes, depending how hot your pan is. But once you put it on the plate, whatever side you put it down on gets not as crispy. But if you can hear that, it does stay a little bit crispy on the top. And I did take a bite. I usually put hot sauce on it. Tingly Ted's for me. This is Ed Sheeran's brand, just if you're curious. But, it's just so yummy. You get the like salty element from the feta, and then you also get the punch from the sun-dried tomatoes. And then also the hot sauce if you choose. And yeah, it's just been a staple breakfast for me. I never get sick of it. And I think if you wanted, you could probably meal prep these and freeze them and then like air fry them in the morning. I haven't tried that, but if anyone else tries this and tries to freeze them to make their morning a little bit smoother and easier, let me know. I'd be curious to see how that goes. But cheers, and I will see you back for lunch. Okay, home from the gym. Need a little pick-me-up. Just adding some almond milk to my espresso. So good. Okay, lunchtime. We've got leftover chicken from last night. It's Greek marinated chicken that I made with some Greek yogurt. This is a little like pre-packet or a packet like lunch bowl. They're like this. This isn't the one I have, but same idea. They're yummy. And then a little baguette with a little side of brie, because it's all about balance. All right, I'm just popping on to talk about dinner because I am preparing it ahead of time. It's only like 3:30 right now, but it takes about 2 hours in the oven, not including prep time. So I just wanted to quickly show you the recipe that I'm using. First of all, I'm using this book, Jamie Oliver's 5 Ingredient. Super nice. Each recipe is only five larger ingredients. Obviously, some things you just have to have around the house. But I'm making bangin' beef stew. This is what it's supposed to look like. And I'll show the recipe in a moment in case anyone wants to also do it. But the stewing beef was on sale at Albert Heijn, so I figured, why not make this? And it's been chilly, so I feel like this is gonna be a delicious meal. This one, I've made a different stew in here, but I haven't made this one. And to be honest, it looks a little bit less, it doesn't really look like stew, like very soupy. It looks more just like a really, like a saucy beef, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna start prepping on this. Okay, Murphy's home. Happy Friday.
It's the weekend.
We've got a little appetizer of some brie cheese, prosciutto, crackers, and some baguette while the stew is cooking. So let's dig in. Okay, here's the stew over some mashed potatoes, although it's not really a stew. I'll show you what it actually looks like. Okay, some beef is out of it, but it turned out way watery. Here's the reference photo. I don't know what happened, but yeah. Brunching. Okay, we're at Nom Nom for brunch this morning, Saturday. Yeah, Cuban for Murphy, Caesar salad for me, of course. My Caesar bread. Cubano. Just popping in to talk about our lunch. It was really good. So the place we went to was called Nom Nom. And we sat there and waited for their lunch menu, and I'm glad we did. So Murphy got that Cubano, and it was so good. It was on like a Texas toast almost. And yeah, I'm kind of jealous I didn't get that, but my Caesar salad was also delicious. Very well dressed, got the egg in there, some tomatoes, you know, can't go wrong with the Caesar salad. Or I guess you could, but that'd be kind of difficult. So yeah, we'll tune in once we have dinner in a little bit, but we've got some Formula One to watch first. Okay, it's a lazy Saturday evening. We were out pretty much all day today, so I got my eyes tested, got my nails done. We did some shopping, went out to lunch as you saw, and Murphy is craving pizza for dinner this evening. So I've got this while I'm watching some of the panels from BravoCon that's going on right now. And this one is a salami picante. It's just like it's not a frozen pizza. They're just like pre-made, refrigerated, and they're always like 2 for $11.50. So we probably have these at least like once a week. And we do this today. We're doing this salami picante and then a mozzarella pesto, but we add prosciutto because it makes it so much better. So that's all we've got cooking for dinner this evening. And yeah, we'll check in tomorrow. Morning coffee for our morning walk with Monty. And then once we get back, we'll maybe have some breakfast.
Maybe.
Breakfast?
Yeah, some eggs.
Oh, some eggs. Okay. Cheers. We are back from our walk, and instead of a full breakfast, we're just gonna have like a snack and then do an earlier lunch. And I'm gonna repurpose that fail of a stew that I made on Friday. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a raspberry protein yogurt and top it with some protein granola crunch. And then if I have raspberries, I might add some real raspberries as well. I have a comment to make. My yogurt. I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but yogurt is one of those foods for me that I'll just be eating and then all of a sudden I get kind of grossed out by it. And I'm just like, I don't know if I even like this anymore. I definitely don't eat yogurt by itself. I have to have granola in it. I think it's just a texture thing. But let me know if that happens to anybody else. That's just one of those foods where I'm like, is it good? I don't know. Okay, we just got back from a rainy grocery haul. Here's what we've got for the week. Tonight I'm making a Tuscan tortellini soup. So most of this is going in there. These are Murphy's favorite chips. Sensations Mexican peppers and cream. Delicious. It's kind of like a spicy sour cream and onion. He got himself 2 beers. I've had both of these before. They are good. Murphy also picked up some caramel M&Ms. Staple Mentos Pure. This is for our lunch, which I'm going to show you in a moment. This yogurt doesn't make me feel weird. Cottage cheese staple, Murphy's lunch staple, and then some chicken for the soup and for the week. And Murphy got 2 new candles. Okay, for lunch today, I'm repurposing the stewed beef that I made. That wasn't really a stew, but anyways. So what I'm doing is I'm making a sandwich, and I've made the grinder like salad sauce, which went viral a while ago. But I thought the beef of this is a bit like leaning towards Italian beef, but not quite. So I feel like a sandwich with the beef plus the grinder salad is gonna be delish. So I just have to add the iceberg. So I'm gonna take some beef. And then we're gonna top it with this.
good.
All right, let's give it a shot. I need another bite to make sure.
I didn't need another bite. It's good.
Yeah, on a sandwich with the grinder salad on top makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our lunch for the day. Here we are, back in the kitchen, cooking dinner. I need to redeem myself because I had 2 fails this week. Number 1, I made chili, and while it was delicious, it was way too spicy for even me, and that's saying a lot. So I had to add sugar to make it not so hot, but we were definitely dying the first night that we ate it. And then my beef stew, Murphy said it was good, and it was good on the sandwich. It just wasn't up to par, and so I was a bit disappointed. So tonight I'm making Tuscan tortellini soup, and I really don't think I'm gonna fail on this one. I think it's gonna be great. So also apologies if my face is red or my eyes look crazy. I have a really hard time cutting onions, and so I've just been having tears stream down my face for the past like 3 minutes. So anyways, okay, we're gonna get started. I've chopped some celery, 2 stalks, or not stalk, 2, is it a stalk? What's the individual? The whole thing is a stalk. What's the individual? 2 celery sticks, yeah?
Sticks, yeah.
Okay, 1 leek, just the yellow and light green bits, 1 whole onion, it calls for half, but it was a smaller onion, and then 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm just going to saute this a little bit. Okay, so the vegetables have softened up in their olive oil and knob of butter. So now we're just adding a pinch of salt and some red pepper flakes, which are optional. So I'll just add a couple, or just like a little bit. Okay, so next we're adding in a half cup of dry white wine. I'm using Pinot Grigio. This is optional if you don't want wine in your soup, but it will deglaze the pan otherwise. So if you don't, move on to the step after this. And we're just gonna let this cook for 2 minutes. All right, after 2 minutes with the wine, or if you skip the wine, you'd go right to this. So we're adding in crushed tomatoes, and you need 28 ounces. They're in grams here, so I'm actually adding in like 2.5 of these. So I have this, and then I also have one that has some garlic in it as well. So I'm gonna use 2 regular and then half of the one with garlic. Okay, we've got the tomatoes and the chicken stock all in there. We're just gonna bring this to a boil. Okay, peeps, we're bubbling. So next, a Parmesan rind. I think this is gonna be essential to the flavor because who doesn't love Parmesan? So adding it in, letting it simmer for 30 minutes, and then we'll check back in. Okay, we're about 30 minutes later. So I'm going to remove the Parmesan rind, if I can find it. I will admit there was some cheese on it still, so it's melted a bit, but I think that's just gonna make it better. So I'm gonna remove that. And then now we're gonna add tortellini. So I have 2 kinds. Cheese and this, which I think is mortadella and egg. I don't know. it calls for 12 ounces of tortellini. I'm gonna just do like a little bit less than half of each to give us a nice variety. And this will cook a little bit longer because it's dried pasta rather than fresh cold pasta, which I could have gotten, but the options weren't as good as the packaged. So for these it says cook 14 to 15 minutes. So we're gonna just let these hang out before we add the remaining ingredients, and then it's almost time to serve. The tortellinis are done. I tested one just to make sure they are good. So our last steps are arriving. So first up, whipping cream, a cup, a little less than 250 milliliters. I'm just gonna add the whole thing because why not? Okay, after we stir in the whipping cream, we're adding some spinach. The recipe calls for kale, but I already use spinach in other things day to day, so I just got spinach and it's the same, really. So I'm just gonna add like 2 handfuls first, and we'll also add in shredded chicken, rotisserie, or for us we made chicken breasts, and use the mixer, the hand mixer, to shred it afterwards. That's like pro tip. Makes it so much easier, especially on your hands, than doing it with a fork. It's the way to go. So Murphy kindly made this rotisserie chicken for us, this chicken for us today, so we're gonna add this in there. And you can omit this if you don't want chicken. So now that that's all added, because the spinach is cold and the chicken we made earlier, so it's also slightly chilled, I'm just gonna give it a few moments on like medium low heat to just kind of warm up and better integrate in the soup. And I will say the consistency is gonna be a bit closer to like chili, like it's a bit thicker, it's not super soupy. Obviously you can add a bit more, you can add more broth, or you can just add some more water if you want it more loose. I personally like a thicker soup, so I'm really good with this. Plus I don't know how much more I could add without my pan completely overflowing, so this is good for me. But I'm just gonna let this sit for a few moments and then we can serve her up. So I made mine with a little bit less of the soup, and I topped with Parmesan. Murphy's has a bit more of the soup. Served with baguette on the side and a nice glass of red. Okay, I really think this is gonna be a redeemer.
Good.
It's gonna be hot though.
It's more like a pasta dish.
Yeah, this is how I like soup anyways, like not, I said it's more like chili consistency.
Yeah.
A bit thicker. I think it's pretty good. I think I could have added a little bit more salt, but I think like in the US, I think the tomato, like in a can, I think it's salted maybe a little bit more than it is here. But what do you think? Does this redeem me?
It does.
Okay.
I'll have to wait till it cools down a little bit more because it's very hot.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Pretty good. Better than my, well, I thought my chili was good, but it was just too spicy.
And I thought the beef was good.
You thought the beef was good and I wasn't.
It just wasn't what you expected.
I was disappointed because it didn't come out even remotely like what the recipe called for.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is what we ate in a weekend. And that's pretty standard. It's kind of either we go out for like lunch or dinner one day and then eat really random things on the weekend. But I feel like during the week we stick to like a usual schedule of the same things because it keeps us healthy and accountable, and we get to have a little bit more fun on the weekends with what we choose to make and eat. So we're gonna dig in, and we'll see you in the next video.